All right, our next one, let's go down and talk to Ricky about red thread disease. Ricky is in West Virginia.
Hey, Alan, this is Ricky from Strawsburg, Virginia. I got a little limit here. I got a turf mixed with Kentucky bluegrass and perennial rye. But right now my problem is I got a fungus mixed with melting out and red thread. And I know that you don't like to push the lawn with the heat. My temperatures are low 80s, a couple days in the 70s, but it's hot and humid. And I've put down some slow-release nitrogen, but it seems to not be working, to get the lawn to grow and try to push it out. I just want to know what to do with it. I put down some fungicide, some propiconazole, and I just don't know what to do with it. If you could, let me know. Thanks.
All right, Ricky, this is a great question. It's one I think a lot of people are dealing with. I've had a few people come up and talk about red thread this year already, as well as dollar spot. And that's the first thing I want to talk about is a lot of times red thread and dollar spot will get confused with each other, but that's okay because the treatment is the same. But if you want to make sure, what you want to first find out is that red thread still active? And the way that you'll do that is you'll get down and you'll see the areas that are infected, and you will literally be able to see the pink mycelium on the leaf blades. It is bright pink when you get close to it, especially if you put on polarized sunglasses. You will definitely be able to see that it's this pink tinge, and that's the mycelium on there. And if it's still, pink and it looks active and it feels a little bit moist, then definitely you're going to have to continue with your propiconazole applications. The same thing will go with dollar spot because both of these applications or both of these diseases, by the way, dollar spot you'll notice by the hourglass lesions on the leaves. But either way, both of these are infections or diseases of the leaf tissue. And those are typically the easiest to get rid of. And that's why Ricky here is talking about pushing it out with nitrogen, because that's usually your first thing that you want to try or your first remedy when you have a disease or a fungus on your lawn that is infecting the leaf tissue primarily. And so with red thread, you can push it out. And so that's where you're going to want to apply high nitrogen fertilizer. Now, you talked about putting some slow release down. I don't care if it's slow release, fast release, what release it is. You want to put it down, and you want to put it down a little bit hard. You want to feed the lawn hard. And what Ricky's saying is, Alan, I know you don't like to push it in the summer. I know that's not a good idea. And Ricky, you're exactly right. I don't like to push a ton of fast nitrogen in the summer. However, this goes back to what we talk about. There are times of give and take. There are times when you're going to have to break a rule for the good of the lawn overall. In this case, you need to be able to enjoy that lawn this summer. You need to help those things grow out like a bad hair job. So it's okay to push it. Just make sure your irrigation is in line and definitely your mowing is in line. Catch the clippings all during this time, and you're going to have to probably mow every 3 days. So in this case, I would say forget about slow release, quick release, whatever. Get the highest nitrogen fertilizer you can find. Again, we have Carbon X that hopefully will be available here soon, which is 24% nitrogen. You can get Scott's Turf Builder at the store right now. I think it's even 33% nitrogen. Get down a full pound of nitrogen, whatever you choose, and push that out of there. Again, you're going to have to irrigate. You're going to have to keep mowing. You may get some hot days. It may stunt the grass, but you're going to have to just deal with that. You're going to have to just work through that because you'd rather hurt the lawn now by pushing it and maybe taking a chance that it's going to, have a little bit of stress in summer rather than have to just have it sit there stunted and live with the scarring. Now, again, if you find that the disease is still active, then you will need to continue treating with the propiconazole every 10 days. Spray it down. Definitely make sure you're using a liquid, which I believe you are, because the liquid will stick to the leaf surface. And that's the key with this is we want that fungicide to coat those lesions and coat those mycelium, and anywhere that the disease is on the leaf, we want that fungicide to coat that because that's how it's going to work. So if you continue with that, it is okay in summer or right now. If you've got red thread or you have dollar spot and you need to push it out, it is okay to go ahead and break the rule that I tell you and not push hard nitrogen in the summer and go ahead and do it. And that's what I keep getting back to through a lot of these concepts that we're following is I give you hard and fast rules because those are the safest way to go. But there are always times when you're going to have to break a rule. And these are not rules like cardinal sins here. These are rules like guidelines. Guidelines are there inside the box, but sometimes you do have to go outside the box, and your lawn will understand that. Just don't stay outside the box for too long. One other thing that you'll want to do, and I started doing this, I had some brown spots in my zoysia and also some in my St. Augustine. I don't know exactly what they were. I don't think it was dollar spot. It definitely was not rhizoctonia or brown patch at all. I had some spots in there coming out of the winter, and what I did is I took our dethatch product and I mixed it up at 6 ounces per 1,000, and I spot sprayed it. I painted the spots, the dead spots, the disease spots, I painted them black with the dethatch. And here's the reason why. Dethatch has molasses in it, and what that molasses does is it stimulates the microbes that are there to come up and feed on the molasses. And as they do that, they're going to feed on any dead leaf tissue that's there, any dead grass that's there. That's why you coat the dead grass, in this case, disease spots, or in a larger case, thatch. You coat it with this product, and that molasses draws the microbes out. It gets them all excited. They go into a feeding frenzy, and they eat up all the dead grass. Well, it works with thatch, but it also works with the disease spots. Anything that's dead in the lawn. Dead grass is dead grass. It doesn't matter if it died from disease. It doesn't matter if it died from thatch. It doesn't matter if it died from your propane torch. It doesn't matter if it died because you set your grill top there and left it and the lawn died underneath. It doesn't matter why. If it's dead lawn and you spray dethatch there, the molasses is going to stimulate those microbes to come up and eat the dead grass away. So one of the ways that you can get rid of disease scarring, which I think, Ricky, is one of the things that you might be dealing with here, is to spray the disease spots with dethatch. Now, again, if you find that the red thread is still active, go ahead and still apply the propiconazole, but mix the propiconazole and the dethatch together. There's nothing wrong with that, and paint those spots black that way. That is definitely a way to help cure up the scars faster. The dethatch does not cure the disease, but it makes the scarring go away much, much faster, which makes you think that the disease is cured up. Because that's one of the things that a lot of folks deal with the disease is they have to deal with the aftermath of it. So by using the dethatch to clear it up quicker, that's one strategy that you can use. And I've used it here, and it works very, very well. And of course, as always, Ricky, let's hope for the best.